Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Angelika's Journal. I hope everybody's doing good today. You know how I like to share everything. If I have an issue with something, I like to share it with you guys. And please give me your opinion down below in the comments. Do you remember on my last video, I was saying how I always buy Miracle Grow potting soil, and that the Pro Mix is a lot of organic matter, and I had sifted because the seed starting soil had a lot of organic matter in it, and so I sifted it because I didn't think the seeds could get through all that. And so I ended up with this. I had showed you all this nice soil. Okay, well, keep that in mind because from that, I ran across another issue. Now, before we start, I'm going to show you my seedlings. All right, so hold on. I'll be right back. All right, so this is my grow light area. And here's my seedlings. All the ones I started, including the 2 pots I had bought. They have a couple of seeds coming up. But these are sprouting like pretty vigorously. And so some of them need to be repotted now. There's one in the back there. You can see all the greenery in that red pot. That's an alyssum. 2 days after I planted it, it just started popping up. None of the others are, just that one. And then, of course, we have all these in the peat pots. Like, they do really good. Peat pots are good. It's just I don't like the mesh that's around it. When you go to plant it, I have planted it with the mesh, and it says it'll decompose, but it doesn't. The following spring, I would go and mix up the soil to enrich it when I had a garden, and you'd find all these mesh pieces in the soil, so they don't decompose. But yes, the roots are able to grow through it, so I guess that's not an issue. But anyways, oh yeah, and there are my 2 that I planted last year, and they were struggling. And yeah, so this one is ready to be repotted also, Kalanchoy, and the one in the back is one of the hibiscus. It's starting to shoot outside shoots, so I want to bury that whole thing, and you know, hopefully I'll have a whole bunch of branches from it. And my other one is in the window. This is my house plants in the window. There's a whole bunch of them, plus my hanging plants. But this is not a show off of my plants. But there's the hibiscus. See how spindly it is? Now, a lot of plants you can cut off the top and it'll fill in with bushiness, but I want to make sure that that's going to survive before I give it a drastic cut, because if it's not strong enough, healthy enough, and you cut off the top, it's just going to die. Mind you, I do have the other one under the light. This one I had to take out because it was so tall. It was hitting the grow light, and I didn't want the leaves to get burnt. But you can see it is facing the sunlight, like the outdoors where the sun is. So hopefully that means, you know, it is happy. But anyways, I'll pause you and we'll go back to the table. All right, so this morning I decided that some of those seedlings were big enough that I wanted to plant it in these pots. Like, these are 1.5 or 2 inch pots. They're not very big, but I don't want to put it in anything too big like these 3-inch pots or 4-inch pots. I don't know them. I should mark it one day. But I don't want to put it in this big pot because if I give it too much water, it's not going to be like if I only put the soil up to here, the roots are maybe here. All this extra space is going to get waterlogged. I could put rocks on the bottom and maybe only fill it to here. But I don't like that idea. I'd rather use a smaller pot. Like some of them are there. I had put a lot of seeds, so it's a big clump. So I'd like to kind of open that up when I put it in here, so it's more spread out. Plus, it has all this to develop roots. When this gets full and there are roots coming out the bottom, you know the root system is really stable, well established. Do you know what I mean? And then at that point, I don't care what size pot. Well, I'd probably put it in here. Or I could put it in my 5-inch. Because I have this pot. I have this one. I have a green one that I got from the Dollarama. That is, I think, a 5-inch diameter and 5-inch height. And then recently I bought the 6-inch pot. So I do have 4 different sizes. So depending, like the coneflower and the calendula, they are pretty big plants. Peppermint, chamomile, they are big plants. So from here, I could just put it straight into the green one. And then once they go outside, I can then put it into something else. Yeah, that's another thing. The weather. A couple of days ago, we were -2 or 3. Today, we were 16, +16 Celsius. Like 14 degrees in 2 days. And I've seen it change 20 degrees in 1 day. So, you know, everybody is hopeful. Like we had not a heat wave, but really warm temperatures for about a week. I don't know, about 2-3 weeks ago. And everybody was saying, oh, spring is here. The weather is going to be nice now. No, we had a dip again. So you really got to make sure that your temperature is consistent and that it is always warm. If it dips like that, you have to bring those plants inside. Find room for it inside, which now you don't have room because you had put them all out and something else went in their space. Anyways, that's a whole other issue. Anyways, all right. So as you saw my seedlings, they're ready to be repotted. So I brought out the organic soil mix that I had. Because you remember I separated the organic, I sifted the organic stuff out of the regular soil. And then I had put the organic stuff in my soil pot. I have this garbage can and I use it for my soil. And it has a lid. And then when I sifted this stuff, I then took some of it and enriched it, mixed it with my Miracle Grow potting soil, added some perlite. I had put hydrogen peroxide 3% mixed with water, the 5:1 ratio. I had done that. And so this was my seed starting. From this, I made the seed starting mix, mine. And this is like when I make some more. I'll just add perlite to it, some of the regular soil. Anyways, getting off track here. I opened this container, and here comes my potting soil issue. You can't see it now because I went through a whole shemang, whatever, I don't know, kerfuffle of the soil, but I had white mold, 3 clumps, white mold sitting on top of the soil. And I'm like, oh my God, like, that's not good. And I do know this is the Pro Mix brand. And so hear me out. Don't take it as a negative. There's more to it. So I dumped it in a garbage bag, double bagged it, put it outside the apartment door because when Scott was out, so I figured when he'd come home, he could go throw it. And then I went into this one. Well, this one had a couple of spots of white mold also, just small clump, but 2 of them in there too. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like freaking out. And so I dumped that in a garbage bag, a big black one, because that's more soil. Stuck it in the empty Amazon box and went to grab the other one, stuck it in the box with it. And I figure, Scott can get rid of it when he comes home. So then I take my containers, the lids, the container, the shovels that I use, your gardening tool. I also have a round white plastic one there. It's from food, but I don't use it for food. It's my scoop. And I took it all, stuck it in the kitchen on the counter, hot water, lots of dish soap, wash. Like I didn't even wash it. It was so hot, the water. It was straight hot water. So I just let it sit. And then I go to my laptop and I start Googling about the Pro Mix mycorrhizae, or mycorrhizae, or whatever it's called. So I Googled it. You know what? That's what caused it. And that is normal. And it's not bad for your plants. Who knew? See, this is what I mean. If you don't try different things and then learn from issues that you have, they're not necessarily bad things. They're just issues that you come across. Like, there's just so many ins and outs and so many variables. Now, so Pro Mix, I still stand by what I said. It is a high-end potting soil. It is good quality. So I started by searching what is mycorrhizae, I don't know, whatever. It said, now the exact definition, I wrote it down. It says, are symbiotic relationships between fungi and plant roots, where fungi help plants absorb water and nutrients, while the plants provide the fungi with sugars. So it's a symbiotic relationship between them. It's basically a fungus roots that are decaying matter, and that in the root system helps it to absorb water better and nutrients, and it improves the soil structure. So it's good. It's good for your house plants. It's good for your garden soil. I did, because when I Googled if it's okay for house plants, and they said yes, but not brassicas. Supposedly, and I didn't read through because I'm not growing brassicas, but you may want to check out. You don't want that stuff on your brassicas, supposedly. Anyways, so then I searched Miracle Grow and Schultz, because this time I bought Schultz instead of the Miracle Grow. I don't know. To me, it looks backwards on camera. It's probably backwards on you for you too. But it's Schultz, and the one that was in there, it was Miracle Grow. And they say that they do not contain the mycorrhizae, as most mixes don't. They have the peat, the perlite, like that organic matter. That is the organic matter. And then fertilizers, but they don't have this fungi, which is actually good for your plants. So when you know what you're doing and you're a professional, you know how to use that, how to store it, and everything's good. And they probably all use that stuff. You could actually buy it separate too. Um, so the definition of it. Now I wrote down um, the spores. This is what I wrote down. The white mold spores that I saw on the top and that I removed. It says it gets created from the moisture, dark spaces, and lack of airflow, but only when you have decaying matter in there, or that mycorrhizae, however you pronounce it. That stuff, because that is a fungus, and if you have decaying matter, I don't know if it can be created from decaying matter or if it's just if that fungi has been introduced to it. But anyways, so the reason why I got it is because I use plastic containers. And I put my plastic lid on it. This is one of the Rubbermaid ones. It used to be my potato salad container, but I don't make potato salad anymore. So I use it for my soil. And this is the one for to start the seeds. Well, it's a plastic container. It has a lid. Moisture can't escape. Oxygen can't get to it. Like there's no airflow. And it's a dark space. Especially this white one. It's not clear. No light can go in. Right? So that's why it was creating these mold spores. So what I am taking away from this is, yes, buy ProMix. It's a good product. Oh, another thing. You know how when you buy soil, the bags always have holes in it? That's for airflow. So no mold. Anyways, takeaway. If you're gonna buy the ProMix, use it right away, or if you put it in a container, don't have a lid on it. Leave it open to the air. If it's deep, you may even want to go every couple of days and mix it up. Lack of airflow, darkness, and moisture are what helps it to develop. So basically just use the bag right away, or if you only have one small plant to repot, buy one of the other brands that don't have it in. Because if you're going to be storing it, unless you leave it open, like I said, to the air and mix it every now and then, you know what I mean? Anyways, like I just freaked out when I saw that stuff. I thought danger instantly. And I just went freakazoid. Like when Scott came home, I told him, I'm like, good thing you weren't here. Because I went through a little hissy fit. But anyways, if it bothers you and you still want to use the soil, like I had said, I didn't want to throw it away, right? Soil's expensive. So there are things you can do to sterilize it, but I don't know if some or all of these methods are going to kill the fungus. I don't know. I don't know if you can kill fungus. I don't know, anything about fungus. I know mushrooms are a fungus. So I don't know if it'll kill it. It might just make it dormant, and then once moisture gets introduced, it will then become active again. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But what you can do is first spoon out the spots that you see. Spoon it out. which I didn't do because I just tossed it all in a bag. So it's mixed in here somewhere. But what I'm doing is leaving the lid off, and I'm going to let it dry out, and I'm going to move the soil around, and hopefully that'll be okay. Um, they say when you do your seed pots, because they haven't developed root systems yet, and the root systems are very young. So the best way to start your seeds is just to sprinkle a little cinnamon on it. Cinnamon is antimicrobial, and it won't allow the fungus to kill the roots, or I don't know, something like that. But basically cinnamon. Cinnamon will do it. And I used to do cinnamon. I didn't do any cinnamon. If you go back to the beginning of the video, I did not put any cinnamon on it. I was thinking of it, but I didn't. And there's no white spores on those. Plus they're under light. So I'm sure the fluorescent light, just like sunlight, wouldn't allow the spores to grow, right? Another thing is to use hydrogen peroxide 3%, a 1:5 ratio with water. You could use that, but I'm just thinking you're just adding more moisture. And if you remember, I did use that stuff. And I think it was in this one, and I still got spores because there was still a lid and there was lack of airflow and darkness. So it'll sterilize your soil. Hydrogen peroxide is mostly used for fungus gnats though. So I don't know. Yeah, but that was one of the options that were listed. Another way, actually the one that I think is best, is bake at 180 degrees in the oven for 30 minutes. You take a baking sheet like this. Can you tell I use my baking sheets and baking pans for my gardening? Makes a good tray. Anyways, you take one of these baking, like cookie baking sheets, and you just put a layer of soil on here. Like you could probably go pretty close to the top of the lip here. Like it's maybe 3/4 inch deep. So you could fill it up with soil, but the size of your oven, so it would be a bigger tray. This is just a small one. And then bake it in the oven for half an hour. There was a footnote saying that don't go over 112 degrees Fahrenheit because baking soil in the oven could release toxins into the air. Do not go over 212 degrees Fahrenheit. But they suggest 180. So I'd say 180 to 200, that range. Yeah, so nothing too high. Or boiling water. But boiling water, if you put boiling water in it, to me, it's the same thing like the hydrogen peroxide. You're adding moisture to already a bad, like it already has too much moisture and you're adding more moisture. So I don't think either of those would be a good one. That's why I say baking in the oven is probably better because it's drying out the soil and killing those spores. So I don't know if it kills fungus, but it kills the mold spores, right? So I think baking it is your best bet. 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. And for your seedlings, cinnamon. I may do it with the red pots and the black pots. Maybe the other two big pots also. But the little peat pellets, I'm not going to worry about them because they seem to be fine. Unless the seeds are sitting in there for like a week, week and a half. That might, because some of them take time to germinate. So those I would probably go back and sprinkle with cinnamon. But like the Alyssum, 2 days it came up. The other ones, what were they? Chamomile and Lobelia, I think, are the two that came up. I know chamomile is one of them. Like they're like a good size. They're like almost an inch, like 3/4 inch tall already. So those don't need cinnamon. I'll just repot it and into the little pots. Again, little pots. If you should run into a problem with moisture, mind you, there's no lack of airflow or darkness because they go back under the lights. So yeah, just play it by ear, as it goes. Don't panic like I did. Check it out first. All right, everybody. I just wanted to let you know another issue I came across. And do let me know down below if you've had that issue and how you rectified the problem. Yeah, like it's not a bad thing. It's just something I wasn't prepared for because I don't normally use that product. Um, but, don't take it as a bad thing because everything has its place, right? And so when you're repotting your plants that are already established, and it's especially for those succulent ones that don't like moisture anyways, like that would be perfect. The fungus will help the roots and it won't build mold spores, because the soil, you let it get dry, so it's not going to be a constant moisture. Yeah, so in that application, it would be good. Seeds or storing in a sealed container, not the product to use. Anyways, that's everything I got. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, your experiences, and what you've been through, if this happened to you, or even if it didn't. What products do you use? All right, so remember, do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place. Take care, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.